Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So if you could just Good morning, everyone. I'm Tom Edge, and I will be presenting service today along with assistance from Kevin McCluney, Lynn Israel, and Megan Rancier. Yes, you're getting the best of the best today. Tina and Kayla are providing technical assistance, and of course, Ted is our musical director. Please be aware that we are recording the service. It will be posted on our YouTube page. For privacy, we do stop recording during joys and concerns. People watching live online will still hear and see joys and concerns, but not anyone watching the recorded service afterwards. One final note, please be aware that announcements come near the end of the service after we extinguish the chalice. We greet you today as you join us in a wider search for truth and purpose. In this quest, may we encounter one another with open hearts and minds. May we inspire each other to consider new questions and seek deeper meaning. And may we cultivate wisdom and compassion. Let all who enter this place see a welcome face, hear a kind word, and find comfort in this community. May all that we do and say here today help us to be a force for positive change in the world. Now, it looks like we have our usual cast of characters here today. So I will skip the welcome information for new folks, and we can proceed directly to welcoming each other in person. So please take a moment to say hello to your neighbors. Don't make me do it again. No, I like the energy this morning. This is good. All right, the chalice will be lit today by Kenzie Phillips. Please join me in reading these words by Charles A. Howe for the lighting of the chalice. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through to enlighten our ways. that new truth is ever waiting to break through to illumine our minds, and that new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. May we be open to this light and to the rich possibilities that it brings us. And now, Tina has a story for us.
Community for us and can open us up to a richness in life that otherwise we wouldn't have. Lisa, press slideshow. You got to click slideshow. All right, so Brad Montague is the guy who wrote this, and it started out as a video on YouTube during the pandemic, and his adorable little kids were reading part of the text, and it was super cute. So if you ever look it up on YouTube, it's worth a watch. Here we go. We begin by drawing a circle on the ground along each shoe. A safe little place for just one person. Nobody in this circle but you. You could keep that circle closed to everyone but yourself, but that would be like a library with just one book on the shelf. So let's draw a bigger circle for you and your family to share. Now you see what can happen in a circle full of care. Granny Dot, Papa Bit, Barkley, Uncle Hank, new cousin, great granny. It becomes a happier circle as more loved ones come to stay. And wouldn't it be even better if all your friends could come and play? So you stretch and draw your circle even bigger than it's been. And let a few more people know they're welcome to come in. In the circles all around us, everywhere that we all go, there's a difference we can make and a love we can all show. Yet there are still so many outside the circle who are different in all they do, though it feels slightly uncomfortable. We draw a bigger circle for them too. It doesn't mean the circle's easy. It can get harder the more we share. But wonderful things can happen when love is known and felt everywhere, including friendship donuts. As time passes, our eyes open, we see others we really care for. And that's when we ask ourselves, well, what's this circle really there for? So let us create bigger circles all around us for the rest of our days. Let our caring ripple out in a million different ways. In the circles all around us, everywhere that we all go, there's a difference we can make and a love we can all show. As our circles grow and grow and we watch them wonder-eyed, remember the first circle started with just the love you hold inside. The end.
So, since today is New Member Day, I've got 3 songs of welcoming today. There's nothing quite like singing music you don't know with a whole bunch of other people publicly on a Sunday to make it a communal experience. So let's learn this one together. I don't think anybody knows this one. Does anybody know you are welcome here? Feel free to put your hand up if you do. Great, nobody knows it, so we're all gonna learn together. It goes like this. I'll just do a couple lines at a time and we'll learn it, then we'll sing it once through together. First, the first 2 lines. You are welcome here. You are safe to sing or laugh or shed a tear. Let's try that together. You are welcome here. You are safe to sing or laugh or shed a tear. Okay, next part. We love you just the way you are, so have no fear. Let's try that together. We love you just the way you are, have no fear. Good. Next two lines. You are welcome here. And then it goes to, you are welcome here. So let's do those two lines. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Let's do the whole first part, once through. First part. You are welcome here. You are safe to sing or laugh or shed a tear. We love you just the way you are, so have no fear. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Okay, here's the B section. This is a place of peace and grace, where everybody has a home. Let's try it together. This is a place of peace and grace, where everybody has a home. Next part is just like this. You're welcome here, in smiles or tears, where all are loved and no one stands alone. So let's try this together. You're welcome here, in smiles or tears, where all are loved and no one stands alone. Okay, I think we're ready to sing it. You are welcome here. You are safe to sing or laugh or shed a tear. We love you just the way you are, so have no fear. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. This is a place of peace and grace, where everybody has a home. You're welcome here, in smiles or tears, where all are loved and no one stands alone. Back to the beginning one more time. You are welcome here. You are safe to sing or laugh or shed a tear. We love you just the way you are, so have no fear. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Right. Now is the time for sharing of joys, concerns, and milestones. Tina, please stop recording at this time.
Thought first, it might be a really good idea to show the following video, just to make sure these new folks know what they're getting into before they sign the book. And it's called 5 New Reasons Not to Be a Unitarian Universalist. It's a 17-minute video sermon presented 2 years ago by Reverend Daniel Kanter, the senior minister of the First Unitarian Church of Dallas. And why does he say 5 new reasons? Well, he gave the same sermon 10 years ago to his congregation, and at that time he called it just 5 reasons you shouldn't be a Unitarian. Well, now he's got 5 new reasons. So we'll save that first video for another Sunday because it's a fun one. I've seen it. But for now, let's learn the 5 new reasons.
About what I do in many different ways. I am the senior minister of a large UU church. What is a UU church, they ask? A community of souls seeking meaning. Meaning in what, they ask? It goes on like this through the history and theology of our faith. As tiring as that can get for me, I actually really like those conversations. Even so, I take my retired mentor's advice on airplanes in response to the question to what I do. I tell them I work in an accounting department of a small dog food company. Easier but less fulfilling, for sure. When I started thinking about today and next week, 2 Sundays about Unitarianism and Universalism, I thought about how you don't need me to tell you about the 500-plus year history, our liberal presence in the tree of Christianity, our New England roots in transcendentalism, and our long commitment to justice from abolition to LGBT rights to anti-racism work. You can read all about that. Rather, I thought you might want to ask the question, the kind of question I ask myself when I am dragged to IKEA. Why am I here? Exactly. The kind of existential question that you have in big box stores if you're like me. And they're healthy kinds of spiritual questions, especially lost down an alley, or more importantly, in church. With more than half the U.S. population not attending any kind of Sunday worship, it's a miracle that you would ask this question at all. Attendance in most places of religion is down like the stock market of 2001. Fewer percentage of the population than in all of history are attending church or any kind of religion, unless it is that they believe that God downloaded the Bible or the Quran just for them. So the fact that anyone shows up here to me is always amazing. Then again, I'm pretty sure we have something amazing here, especially in this city and at this time for the people of our community. So I want to help you consider this place and that question, why are you here? With a sermon called 5 New Reasons You Should Not Be a Unitarian. Number 1, you should not be a Unitarian if you want to believe anything you want. I was talking to my own child and his cousin who's Catholic once, and they asked, what is this church that you serve? I said, we're a church that believes Jesus was man and God is mystery and salvation is acting on our principles. To which my own child said, what? I thought we could believe anything we wanted. It's not true that you can believe anything. There are a lot of things we do not believe in. We don't believe in limiting people because of their race, gender, ability, or disability. We don't believe in unfairness toward anyone for their choices or loves. We don't believe in destroying the environment. We don't believe that injustice and poverty are just ill-fated accidents that we don't have any accountability for. There are limitations on the freedom of belief around here, but they don't usually belong in the category of theology. Here there's variation on that topic, like in nature. There isn't just one answer. The only beliefs we don't want you to have in this church are the ones that guide you in ways that are destructive, violent, abusive, create more evil than good. And that includes thinking you have or want all the answers, because we don't even have all the questions. That includes thinking your notion of God is better than any others, or thinking that your notion is better than your neighbor. We have left open the question of God, knowing that to try to put God in a box is a perilous activity. That is why the God of many names opens doors here in this church rather than closes them. And the latitude to wrestle with your God is our hope. So number one, you shouldn't be a Unitarian if you want a church where you can believe anything with a capital A. 2, there are only 5. There could be more, I guess, but there are only 5. You should not be a Unitarian if you don't like sex. I don't actually mean the act of sex, which we take seriously as a spiritual aspect of life, but I mean all aspects of sexuality, reproductive freedom, and identity. If you want a Calvinist society where sexuality is shunned and children are taught that their bodies are evil temples of desire and the state should control who can have or terminate a pregnancy, you probably are in the wrong church. We take sex seriously here. Ask any one of our youth who are sitting over here in the church. Any of them that have gone through our whole lives sexuality curriculum, they will tell you that they don't even know more about sex than you, but they are resources to their friends in school who know little about their bodies and their choices. Am I right? And if you want a preacher who never mentions abortion, you're in the wrong church. Because here we acknowledge that abortion should be a right everyone has. We acknowledge that 1 in 4 women in the pews of this church have had an abortion, and there is no shame in that, taking control of one's life. We say that your life matters. If you need help or know someone who needs help with termination of a pregnancy, you're in the right place. And if you're squeamish about gender identity, being gay, lesbian, or transgender, or want a world where that isn't talked about or acknowledged, you're in the wrong church. Here we lift up the variation in human sexuality and identity as normal, loved, and part of God's loving world. Number 3, you shouldn't be a Unitarian if you want to hear spiritual platitudes, sermons that always end pointing to Jesus or God as the answer, or need just to be affirmed in your own way of thinking. This church isn't a church for easy answers, am I right? Here we demand that you wrestle and learn and stretch and listen and dialogue and respect others' opinions. As hard as that last one can be these days, where political opinions are followed by character judgments, we are a church that hopes you deepen your capacity to receive others, rather than a church that is here to shore up your ability to turn others away. The world demands that we get over ourselves every day. And this church demands that we lean in rather than lean back when we hear things that we disagree with. We know that real compassion starts with trying to be open to others in our lives, even when we disagree. I love this quote from Frederick Buechner, someone who I've quoted many times in my ministry and who died this past week. He said, "Compassion is the sometimes fatal capacity for feeling what it is like to live inside somebody else's skin. It's the knowledge that there can never really be any peace and joy for me until there is peace and joy finally for you too." While we're doing this work of compassion and dialogue and trying to be open to one another. We will be demanding of you that you don't just agree with the preacher, expect nicely packaged answers to your spiritual needs, or to be wrapped in an assuring blanket of hope because God has your back. We have hope, but it's mostly in our potential to do what is right. We have answers. It's mostly in growing our capacity to advance dignity and worth to others. And we have God, a God of many names that demands we not box it up so easily as some do, but rather lean in to what we don't understand or know. Number 4. You still with me? You shouldn't be a Unitarian if you can't sin. I'm borrowing this from a colleague of mine who said to be part of our church, you've got to know how to sin. He said that's very important to us, and not everyone knows how to do it. We don't want people here who never do wicked things. We don't want people here who are holier than thee or thou. We don't want people who have made it in the salvation department and are just waiting around to get picked up. Because people with too much heaven in them are hell to live with, he said. Thank you, Reverend Larson from Wisconsin. I say that Unitarians have always promoted that you are inherently good, but there are limitations. Do you know anybody in this room? The limitations are being alive. You're going to sin. You're going to go wrong. You're going to make mistakes. But it's not your nature. Your nature is good. We are here to help you to get in touch more often with your nature than not. The holier than thou should not apply. Those applications get put on the big stack to be reviewed. But wrestling honestly with your demons, being lost and despairing, troubled off the rails in your life, then we can help you. We may not solve your problems with easy answers, but we will walk beside you. If you have made it in the salvation department, I'm not sure this is the place for you. But you should also know that if you want a church that beats you up for being a sinner, you're in the wrong place also. This is not Calvinism. We do not believe in redemptive suffering or sacrifice. We believe in your ability to confront the realities of your life and find a healthy, loving way forward. Because for us, God is love and nothing else. And lastly, number 5, you shouldn't be a Unitarian if you don't want to be more generous, more compassionate, or to serve others. This church will make demands on you. It will tell you that service is like prayer, and giving is a spiritual practice. It will tell you that to live closer to whatever God you understand or wish to understand is to try to be mindful of the blessings of life. To do as Mary Oliver says in her poem today, mindful every day, see or hear something that more or less kills you with delight, that leaves you like a needle in the haystack of light. Being mindful of your life in the midst of others is a value here. Just ask the dog named Sam. Because it makes you more aware and loving and present to the days that pass us by so quickly. This church will change you, I say to new members, for the better. It will not always be easy, but you will be deeper and more generous in so many ways if you stick around. So how are you doing on your number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? You all right? If all this makes you nervous, ponder the many churches that are out there. If you want to live into the freedom of our faith that for 500 years has been practicing liberal religion and committing to justice and living lives that call us to flower in the craggy gaps of life and draw nourishment from the Spirit among us, you might be in the right place. If you want to spend time with people who every time we extend a hand, knowing that God is too big to fit into boxes, and all of us need places to be affirmed and challenged and held, then you might be in the right place. Because here's the thing. We know who we are. And we hope that you know who you are. Or at least if you have some questions about all this, you might continue to talk it over with us. Or, said with love, to seek your truth elsewhere. Questions are good, and so are you. And in the end, what does all this matter anyway? We travel through our lives, we choose so many sides, we seek and find, we lose and love and lose again and wait in silence for answers that do not come and for people to rescue us. And what matters is that we find some grounding and more love and the support of others. And in that pursuit, we find out what is holy and act on the grace of life for the good of the world. Listen once more to what Frederick Buechner famously said. He said, "Listen to your life. See it for the fathomless mystery that it is. In the boredom and in the pain of it, no less than the excitement and the gladness. Touch, taste, smell your way to the holy and hidden heart of it all. Because in the last analysis, all moments are key moments, and life itself is grace." You can grow a life here if this is the place for you, friends. But you should consider seriously why you shouldn't be a Unitarian and whether you are in the right place. And I will walk with you through that journey. And if the answers come back, yes, I am here, and I'm in this place for the others around me, for the service to the world, to explore what God might mean, to hold out for what is holy and what is graceful, then let's dig in. Welcome to church. Amen. Amen.
Here in this church, at MVUUC, human beings have gathered for decades seeking a higher purpose and deeper life than they could find alone. We are grateful today for each one of you that you have found your way here and that you have decided to make a commitment to this faith community. We hope that as members of this church, you will allow yourselves to know and to be known, to minister to and to minister to and to be ministered unto, to love and to be loved by this congregation. We never really know what combination of fate and friendship and good luck it is that brings certain people together in this world for any purpose. But we believe that membership in the church calls each of us here to celebrate the fate that has drawn us together and to regard each one a spiritual friend and a potential teacher, even of occasional hard lessons. The relationships we form in our church are based on needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on each other's grace and goodness and generosity of spirit. As members of this church, we pledge to be guardians of each other's spirits, to respect the ultimate privacy of each one's human struggle, and to believe in each one's inherent dignity. Finally, as members of this congregation, we know that we can always rely on the wisdom of our covenant, which reminds us of our true purpose in being together. For those who are able, will the congregation please rise and join together with our newest church members in affirming the covenant found in your order of service. In the bonds of fellowship and love, we unite to cultivate reverence, to promote spiritual growth and ethical commitment, to minister to each other's needs and to those of humanity, to celebrate the sacred moments of life's passage, and to honor the holiness at the heart of being. You may take your seats. With those of you becoming members today, please come forward and stand over here to my left. And now I'm going to hand things over to Megan Rancier, our current president of the Board of Trustees.
Hey everyone, and by the way, if you get tired while you're standing, please grab a chair. So I'm Megan Rancier, and I am honored to be the board president. It is also my great pleasure to introduce these fine folks who are joining MVUUC today. I have a short bio for each of them. So I'm going to start with Laura Schutze, who's, as you know, also my mother-in-law. So this is Laura's bio. She says, I was born in 1947 and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, graduating from high school there. I went to college in Princeton, New Jersey at Westminster Choir College and later at the Cleveland Institute of Music. I married my husband of 53 years, Otto, in 1971 in Tulsa. We had two sons, Max and John, and raised them in a suburb of Cleveland called Rocky River. We moved to Bowling Green in mid-2020 to better care for Otto, who was diagnosed with ALS in 2019 after several years of vexing neurological symptoms. Otto died in February of 2022. I started to attend MVUUC in April of 2023. Throughout my life, I was employed as a musician by churches of several different denominations: American Baptist, Presbyterian, United Methodist, Unitarian Universalist, and United Church of Christ. I think God, in quotes, is whatever gets you through the night when you wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat. I am not new to Unitarian Universalism, as I have worked as a musician for both UU churches in the Cleveland area and attended church there regularly, participating in reading groups and a fascinating Friday morning Bible study. Otto and one of his friends cooked a big Thanksgiving meal there for several years for anybody who needed a home at Thanksgiving. I mostly helped with setup and cleanup. I hope to contribute what I can as a part of this UU congregation. All right. Next we have Will Sure, yeah. Laura, would you like to come and sign the book? Yeah. Okay. Obviously we don't do this very often, so we're gonna feel this out. Okay, so our next member is Will Delameter. Am I saying that correctly? Okay. I don't think I've ever said your last name before out loud. I'm trying to follow the guidance that I have here. So Will grew up in Toledo, Ohio, and now lives with his wife, Robin, in Perrysburg. He holds his undergraduate degree in English from Princeton University and his master's of education degree from SUNY Buffalo. After many years as a teacher, coach, and school administrator, Will went to work for audiobook publisher Recorded Books and later founded a digital publishing company for ebooks and mobile web apps. Robin and Will have 2 children. Their son Glenn lives in Denver, and their daughter Catherine lives in Brooklyn, New York. Will enjoys listening to podcasts on his daily walks and indulging his lifelong passions for poetry, soccer, philosophy, and coffee, not necessarily in that order. Will, would you like to come and sign our book? Thank you. So Robin Delamater was born in rural Pennsylvania and grew up in suburban Philadelphia. She earned degrees in music from Susquehanna University and Eastman School of Music. We have not talked about that. Okay. After years of teaching music in elementary schools, she shifted gears by obtaining a paralegal certificate and working at law firms in Denver, where she and Will were married and their daughter Catherine was born. A move to the DC area created new opportunities for Robin. She discovered a love for early childhood education and worked in the field in a wide variety of settings for the next 20 years. She reads for hours a day, makes quilts, cooks, and loves watching all kinds of shows, sports, and films on TV. Robin, would you like to come and sign our book? Mackenzie Phillips is the RE assistant here at MVUUC and is currently a junior in high school. She was born in Chicago, Illinois, and raised in Perrysburg, Ohio. In her free time, she participates in her school's drama and robotics clubs. Awesome. Mackenzie, would you like to come and sign our book? Next, we have Buffy Elwazani. Buffy was born in Pennsylvania, the oldest of 3 siblings. Later, she lived in Toledo and went to school at Jesu, followed by Central Catholic High School, University of Toledo, and BGSU. She is very proud to have brought 4 children into the Earth's biosphere. Currently, she lives with 2 Labrador retrievers and 2 cats, sharing her home along with her husband Salim, who is a professor of architecture at BGSU. And I've served on a committee with Salim, so Buffy loves music and all colors, but her favorite color is purple. Yes, I agree. The best meal she ever ate was lobster ravioli at a restaurant in Venice, Italy. And the best cup of coffee she ever drank was at the Ponderosa Steakhouse in Manama, Bahrain. Not only has she ridden a bicycle over the Golden Gate Bridge, but the very same year she also sailed under it. We begged her for more stories, but she is saving the best ones for when she gets to know us better. So Buffy, please come and sign our book. And last but not least, we have Ted and Heather Goldman, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
It's funny to be a new member, having been here for a couple of years, but I'll just say the little part about myself that's most relevant to UUism, I think, which is that I grew up in New York City, right in the heart of the city, in Manhattan, 1 block away from a neighborhood shift to a Hispanic neighborhood. And walking down the street at the time where I grew up, you'd see a cross-section of the world every day as walking down Broadway. People looked every way, they walked every way, they spoke every different language. And so playing in the playground with all those kids, you just get used to the idea that there's lots of different kinds of people in the world, and you can still play in the playground together. And now living in Bowling Green, where there's less diversity, I'm glad to be here and to have my kids be here, because here you need to learn explicitly that that's the case, because you don't walk down the street and just see everybody looking and walking and talking in different ways. But even if we don't have the message necessarily all around us culturally, you can still make that in a place like this. So I'm glad to be here.
I'm Heather Goldman, and I always come late because I work at the Presbyterian Church in downtown Bowling Green. I grew up in Bowling Green, and I'm also an Eastman grad. I can't believe there's 2 of us. And everything that Ted said, and happy to be here, and thank you.
Can we get one last round of applause for all of... Sorry? Yeah. Stay.
Right here.
Okay. I was going to have one quick thing. Yeah.
Maybe Heather and Ted, do you want your kids to come up there with
Okay.
you? And in fact, you guys can have roses. So you guys.
Next music is around. We're going to do it more than new. So if you wouldn't mind just staying where we are.
Well, I was going to say, stay here just for a moment anyway. So we'll get there. Oh, trust me, we love to hear you play. We're not going anywhere. While we have you here, new members, we are so glad to have you here with us and that you've chosen this community of fellow seekers to travel with on your life journeys. I'm going to ask a few questions. At the end of this, I'll indicate that you can answer. I would like you to answer. Together, we will. Will you accept our gifts of fellowship, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalist people who spread hope with our living faith? Will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? Thank you. Congregation, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your fellowship? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts they bring to us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles as our community grows and changes?
We will.
New members, don't take your seats quite yet. But on behalf of the congregation, we heartily welcome you with joy and affection.
Now, Ted, we have a music video, but do you want to do your... Oh, okay.
Around. This is your good note, but it's really short. If you just learn it off the cuff. This is one. Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. That is one together. Just short half. Two short half. Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. This is no caravan of despair. Yet again come. This is no caravan.
We're actually, yeah, we're going to skip ahead to the offertory. So now we pass our offertory basket. Visitors, we welcome you to donate cash or via our PayPal link using the QR code in the basket. And Ted, now that he's back, will accompany with his own special music and then lead us in our breathing music and moment of silence. Our closing words today are from Thomas Rhodes. In this religious community, we reach back into the past to honor those who came before us and those who have given so much that we may be here today. And we reach forward with hands of welcome to embrace those who've newly joined our fellowship. Wherever your path may take you, may you carry the good news you have heard here today with you in your heart and on your lips as a blessing to everyone you may meet. Go in peace. Now, please join me in reading the words posted on the screen for extinguishing our chalice. As we extinguish the flame on our chalice, we ignite it inside ourselves. Our commitment to our mission and to one another is an unquenchable flame. Let us remember that we are not alone until we light this flame next time. Now is the time for announcements. Do we have any announcements? I know we're going to start with Lisa. Just come on up.
As a matter of fact, there is a blood drive. That is not why I'm here, but since you brought it up, it's this Saturday, March 2nd. I still have many appointments available, so if you'd like to sign up for an appointment, you could see me or you can do it online. I still need donors, so, give blood. It's from 9 to 2. But my other announcement is, as you all know, we have a section out here in the social hall for collecting things for the pantry. And people have been great about bringing stuff. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. But in addition to that, we need volunteers who live in the area or come into the area regularly or something like that, who would be willing to take the stuff and drop it off at Brown Bag. Thank you. They have, apparently, according to their website, a outside collection thing. So they don't have to be open. You just have to go there and drop it off. It could be after service. You could take it, put it in your car, and then during the week, whatever is good for you. But we need at least a few volunteers willing to do that so that the stuff that we collect gets there in a timely manner, because collecting it doesn't make sense. Okay, great. Should I have them see you, or do you want them to see me if they're willing? Okay. See either Megan or I, and we can get your information, and anyone else who wants to also do it. So, more people, less work. That would be great. I appreciate it. And thanks. And bring stuff.
Very quickly, two things. Next, okay, let's flip them. If you haven't put our congregational retreat on your calendar yet, it is March 16th. That's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. March 16th, very, very important. Also, something more in the more near future, is next week's service, which is scheduled to be a variety show. But of course, for a variety show, we need performers. I have one person signed up right now, and it's not me. So when I sign up, that'll be two. So please talk to me after service, or more ideally, email me at president@mvuuc.org to sign up for a 5-minute slot. So I want to get as many people as possible. So 5-minute slot for next week's variety show. If we get enough people, we will move forward with it. If I don't get enough, then we'll postpone it for a week. I don't want to postpone. So please sign up. Talk to me if you want to share your gifts, share your talents. All right, thank you.
Any announcements online? Everyone else good? Okay. Before I close out, I just wanted to say, especially to our new members, I saw something this week that struck me as very appropriate for this particular situation. I saw someone commenting online that for different faith traditions, there is an obsession with our founders, with whom we descended from, and trying to do things in the manner that they set forth. They said, perhaps as faith traditions, we should be more concerned with being good ancestors, with making things better than our founders did, with passing along a tradition that makes things easier for our children and upon which they, in turn, can improve. And so for our new members, I hope that you will join us in that kind of faith journey. Now, after our closing song, we do invite people to stay for our coffee hour and, of course, to celebrate our new members. And with that, I will hand things over to Ted.
This is our last welcoming song. There's a website which goes through every single UU hymn and its lyrics and talks all about it, analyzes them. It's great.
I've seen that.
It's a great resource. Really, really great. When I got to this one, I saw the alternate last verse, which you see at the bottom there. I thought that was terrific. So this will be our welcoming and exiting song. I think it's a familiar tune, but I'll just play through. We'll get there. Enter, rejoice, and come in.